Last time in central Gujarat, the Congress had 18 seats. They are down from 18 to 14. So they are -4 in central Gujarat. In North Gujarat, last time the battle was much more even, and it remains even this time also. Because if I look at the numbers, Sandeep, my computer is giving me a bit of a problem.
North Gujarat, it's in North Gujarat, the tally, its seats have, BJP has
34.
increased its seats.
So the BJP has actually increased its seat by 2. Yeah. The real setback, the point I wanted to make is the real setback the Congress has suffered this time is in North Gujarat. And the real setback to an extent the BJP suffered was in Saurashtra and Kutch. And North Gujarat, remember, is where Hardik comes from, Viramgam, where Alpesh comes from. He is himself leading in Radhanpur. It's where Jignesh comes from. He's leading in Vadgam. It's also where Prime Minister Modi comes from. It's also where Amit Shah comes from. So, North Gujarat in a sense was a battle of prestige and much more. And interestingly, many of the Congress defectors who got BJP tickets, including my dear friend Tejashree Patel, who I interviewed this time and I've been interviewing for the last few years, is leading at the moment. So one of the features of Gujarat politics, which has been described by Christoph Jaffrelot and others, the political scientists, how people quickly switch sides knowing which way the wind is blowing. So many defectors I can see have actually been rewarded by voters. In Viramgam, Dr. Tejashree Patel is leading. So in the hometown of Hardik, the BJP candidate is leading. Congress had put up a weak candidate. It was generally feared in that area. So you can sense that defectors get rewarded in Indian politics. Makes no difference, particularly in Gujarat, whether you're BJP one day or Congress. The point that was made that in some of the Muslim-dominated seats, how is the BJP doing? Well, they're doing very well. And that is again maybe a lesson somewhere that either they are able to successfully polarize the voter or they are able to put up independent candidates, and be interesting to see which way those independents and small others went. There were 1,800 independents in this Gujarat election who could have made a big difference between victory and defeat. Because the margins, when you look at it, 76 playing 105, it's about 13 or 14 seats. And I think Pradeep Gupta made the point that Ahmedabad, you minus Ahmedabad, and this is a dead heat. Jamalpur Khadia in the walled city, Congress leading in Ahmedabad. It's a seat that they've held. But if you look at Halol, Kalol, those are the areas in central Gujarat where the BJP has held its own. Ghatlodia, the old seat of Anandiben Patel, the BJP is leading. I was interested to know what would happen in Bapu Nagar in Ahmedabad, because that's where there's a large Patel population. And if you look at Bapu Nagar, there I see the BJP is leading. So it's not as if in all the Patel seats, the BJP vote seems to have split. It's not gone to the Congress. Do you think that's a huge risk the Congress took by identifying itself so closely with Hardik? That in elections you can't identify so closely with a caste leader who's openly gone and said, I want reservations. Is that a mistake?
I've always thought that was a mistake. I've stated on your program that was a mistake. I think, to think caste is to think India in the 1960s and 70s.
Right.
I've constantly been repeating myself. The world has changed, India has changed, it's much more aspirational.
Right.
You go for caste, you're going against aspiration.
Very good point.
You're going against merit.
Very good point. And maybe there's a lesson there for you, Priyanka Chaturvedi, that, if you tie yourself so closely to a caste leader, you alienate other castes.
Exactly.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, if you're listening to me, she's gone to sleep.
No,
Have you gone to sleep, ma'am?
She's on her mobile.
She's on her mobile. Okay, she's looking at the results very closely. But clearly what it shows is that you've got a situation here, and I'm looking at these seats where it appears that even in some of the Patel-dominated seats, the BJP has not done too badly. And that, to my mind, is a significant measure of the fact that the Patel vote, as I saw on the ground, was split. There was an age split.
11 to 14 in Patel-dominated seats.
11
to the Congress, 14 to the Congress. 11 to BJP, 14 to Congress.
So more or less split wide open, which is a good point in bringing in the foremost expert on caste.
11-14 now. What was it last time?
It was 14. It was 14-10 last time. 14 to the BJP, 10 to.
Yeah. So it's not. So joining me now is the country's foremost expert on caste arithmetic, Professor Yogendra Yadav. This time, President of the Swaraj Abhiyan, but also, of course, my old friend and cephalogist used to sit in the very chair that Sandeep Shastri does. And every time I look at Dr. Shastri, I wonder whether he's going to contest the next Karnataka elections. No such chance, right? Okay, but
don't rule it out.
Okay, but look at the big picture. Yogendra Yadav, what's the big picture? We're looking at various aspects, including caste. Is the big picture the Congress staging a mild recovery in rural India, or is the in rural Gujarat, or is the big picture it's more of the same? Urban Gujarat solidly with the BJP, rural Gujarat split between the Congress and BJP. So anti-incumbency was there, but not enough.
You could say it's a kind of a draw. It's a draw in the sense externally. Congress can say to the BJP, you did not achieve 150, you are below 2014. BJP could smile and say, but we won. Internally, I think BJP would take a message, something went wrong.
Something went wrong.
Internally, BJP would take a message that, look, something is happening in rural areas. It was Gujarat, we escaped.
Yes.
This may not play out in Madhya Pradesh, this may not play out the same way in Karnataka. These are far more difficult states. So the message for the BJP internally, I hope, for serious political analysts, and my sense is that serious political analysts follow cricket. They analyze things in a more nuanced way rather than imagine that whoever has won got everything right and whoever lost got everything wrong. While I think many persons who thought BJP could lose, I was one of them, they underestimated the starting point. The starting point was not 2012, the starting point was 2014, where they had a huge starting point. So while things did go wrong for them, but not enough for them to be able to do badly. For the Congress, externally Congress would say we improved our seats, we added a few more here and there and things of that kind. Internally Congress would know that they missed an opportunity.
You think they missed an opportunity?
They missed an
because
opportunity.
The other way to look at it is, because the gap was so great, the Congress will turn around and say, look, we gave it a good fight. How much more could we do? Look at the gaps in urban Gujarat. 20 to 25% was the average margin of victory for the BJP. Overcoming that required a huge wave. Clearly the Gujarat voter, as some of them told me, naraz hai lekin gaddar nahi hai. We are angry but we are not traitors. This is a traditional Hindutva Vadi vote, which is about, the BJP has never gone below 44-45% for 20 years in Gujarat.
If Congress said what more could we have done in the last 3 months, I would agree. But remember, this comes only if you concede that they did not do anything for the first 4.5 years. For the first 4.5 years, Congress was not in opposition. It was not on the ground. So an important message for the Congress is, when you are in opposition benches, you cannot loan opposition on the street to someone else. You cannot loan it to Hardik Patel. You cannot loan it to Alpesh Thakur.
You can't suddenly move from a Shankar Singh Waghela who was co-opted by the BJP then to Hardik at the extreme and expect Hardik to be the magician.
So that's where internally I think Congress would understand that while they put in their very best in the last 2-3 months, that was clearly not enough, and you cannot not be in opposition for 4.5 years and then hope to win.
The reason I'm asking you, saw before you came, we spoke about the Patel factor. In the Patel constituencies, we are seeing that the BJP and the Congress are virtually level pegging. Did the Congress invest too much in the Patel factor, thereby alienating Kohlis, Thakurs, Prajapatis, Barots, the smaller OBCs, the Rabaris? There are lots of smaller OBCs as well. And maybe today you have to stitch a much more rainbow coalition. Yes, they seem to have done reasonably in the Adivasi belt. We thought they'd do badly there, the Congress. They seem to have more or less held their own there. But in Kohli-dominated seats, Thakur-dominated seats, it's been much tighter. Do you believe these caste alliances have limited shelf life? This is not the 1980s. You can't stitch a Kham-like alliance. According to Surjit, it is anti-aspiration.
I've been saying for some time on Gujarat, this election was about economy, not so much about this caste or that caste. Patidar agitation was principally a misguided representation of rural unrest. There was rural unrest, farmers have done very poorly, and like in the case of Jats of Haryana, Marathas of Maharashtra, and even in Andhra Pradesh, you have Rajus coming up there. This is rural unrest taking a different form. On Patidars, I thought the exit polls, etc., had given us a reasonably fair picture, which is to say BJP lost about 15 to 20% of their vote share, but not enough for them to lose. And that idea that somehow all Patidars would en masse sift from BJP to Congress, all these things happen in some fantasy and imagination, but BJP did suffer. But that is not to say that BJP could have lost everywhere.
If they had suffered, they would have lost badly in North Gujarat. North Gujarat was the epicenter of the Patel violence. Mehsana was a violence, so was Ahmedabad, to some extent Patan. This is where there were angry Patel youth.
They've lost 3 seats.
They've lost only
3.
They've only lost 3 seats. And they've not been swept out of Mehsana. They've even retained a Bapu Nagar with a large Patel population. And thereby one gets the sense that either the BJP is so tightly integrated, or Narendra Modi was able to arrest any anti-incumbency. I'm just wondering how much of credit should one give the Prime Minister for having plunged himself into Gujarat in the last 10 days to arrest that anti-incumbency and the anger, especially in urban Gujarat. He seems to have an emotional connect with urban Gujarat in particular.
Something did happen in the last 2 weeks. The trends of both the credible opinion polls that were tracking suggested that between October and November, BJP was going downhill very steeply. And then suddenly, those very polls said in exit poll, which is broadly turned out to be true, that things picked up. So what changed between 27th of November and 14th of December? Prime Minister's campaign, a very intense communalizing in some situations, and possibly a counter backlash of Patel mobilization in some of the lower OBCs, which have traditionally voted for Congress. But all these, we shouldn't, as I said, we should follow cricket. We should not think that the winner got everything right and the loser got everything wrong. In all probability, we are looking at a movement of 2 to 3%, which would make all the difference. Another 2% swing from BJP and all of us would have been talking entirely different tones right now.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.